Hello, it's Peter Wright, Kathleen Bove with another episode of the weekly wrap up. We're telling you what's been happening on the Yakking Show. Before we get started, let's welcome co host Kathleen. Hi, Kathleen. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Peter. Thank you so much.
That's good. And we don't want to get into the weather, but it's nice and warm. Summer has arrived at last. What a
Yes.
lovely change. Flowers are out, is looking good. So let's tell you what happened on the Yakking Show this week. Well, on Tuesday we had a guest all the way from Australia, Fiona DeMark. She has a handicap. She's legally blind, but she does an amazing lot of things. She doesn't let her disability stop her at all, does all sorts of things, but you need to watch the episode to find out exactly what she does. I'll whet your appetite and tell you she has a very unusual and rare hobby, but the big thing she does is she organizes accessible adventures for people who are disabled to some degree. And she has some very interesting ones that she's come up with. I thought she was a very interesting lady and inspiring, getting on with her life and helping other people despite what's the challenges she's had to overcome. So, did you want to add anything, Kathleen?
Well, you're right. I was just thinking of the one thing that she likes to do, which is really unusual for somebody that is visually impaired. But you're right. I don't want to give it away. I was about to give it away, but I won't.
You were about to give it away. No, but everyone will have to watch it. You'll have to watch it to find out. It's well worth watching. Coming up next Tuesday will be Patrick Dawson, excuse me, and he's an expert in minimalist living, and he's downsized himself, lives a minimalist lifestyle, finds it a lot less stressful than what his busy life was before. He's done a lot of traveling. He's got some interesting stories to tell. After that, the following week will be Terry Tucker. Excuse me, varied career, done all sorts of things, including being a policeman, a hostage negotiator, and I think he was on the SWAT team, been in business. And he's a very inspiring story. He has also overcome a number of challenges. And the week after that will be Christine Vaughan Davis, who is an ordained Presbyterian minister and a hospital chaplain. And she talks about spirituality in a refreshingly human way, with all due respect to older chaplains and priests. I found her very relatable and easy to understand what she was talking about. So she's good. And then the week after that, excuse me, Stephanie Wynn. She is a counselor and a psychologist, if I remember rightly, and she counsels people who are confused about their gender, which is all the rage these days. And she's also very down to earth, very solid in her opinions, and her she has science to back up what she's talking about. Excuse me, I found her episode very good. So that's the rundown of the next 4 weeks coming on the Yakking Show. I went through that fairly quickly, Kathleen. Have I missed anything? Do you want to add anything to that?
I know. I think you did a good job covering who's to come on the show. And yes, some of these the guests that you mentioned are just pretty phenomenal. Terry Tucker is one that just it it moved me. His story moved me,
Mm,
and I thought about him after our interview with him for several days afterwards. It's one
yeah.
you won't want to miss, anyways.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And before Kathleen gets into health tip, a quick reminder that I've just told you about a whole lot of interesting guests coming up. To make sure you don't miss these exciting guests we've got coming, hop onto our website, theyakkingshow.com, hit the purple button on the top or the bottom of the homepage, and sign up for our newsletter. We only send you one email a week, and we just tell you who's on this week, who's coming next week, and a health tip. And then you won't miss out on all these wonderful guests we've got coming. And that's my little lot done. So back to you, Kathleen.
Well, today, Peter, I want to talk about moving your body. So basically exercising. So they say that the body needs three different movements a week. So the first would be the movement that your body requires every day, such as walking, stretching, and bending. The second is an athletic movement. So it's one where you would do a few times a week to improve your fitness level or train for a sport. And the third is a social movement, one that you do for fun to connect with others, such as dancing or even playing volleyball. They say that getting at least 2,300 steps per day reduces the risk of dying from cardiovascular disease, according to one study published in a 2023 edition of the European Journal of Preventative Cardiology. Walking is really a baseline movement your body requires to function well, to help with things such as circulation, digestion, and even to decompress. So in addition, weight-bearing exercise such as walking help to prevent things like osteoporosis. So very important. So one of the things which I find interesting is that for those who have trouble fitting exercises into the day, what they suggest are these exercise snacks. So yeah, you heard it here for the first time, an exercise snack. So it means that maybe if you're doing a Zoom call and you're having a meeting, maybe you get on the treadmill and you walk during your Zoom call. Or if you go up into the washroom, maybe you do 20 squats on the way to the washroom or afterwards, whichever's more
Probably safer afterwards. Yeah.
Or, if you go for a glass of water, you do maybe 10 push-ups. So breaking it down into an exercise snack is a great way of getting movement into the day. And basically that's really what they're advocating, is for you to move your body and get the exercise that you need. So that's what I want to talk about today.
Well, no, very good. And I'd add to that and say from my own experience that if you can make it a habit, it's so much easier to keep on doing it, right? So
I agree 100%.
I walk 5 days a week. Every weekday, I get up at 10 to 6 in the morning and I'm on the road by 6:05. It's very dark in winter, obviously, and that's my routine. And then I have my breakfast, I shave, and the first thing I do after that is my push-ups and sit-ups. And I do that every morning without fail. Weekends, I live on a farm. I do lots of hard physical work with wood and grass cutting weekends. So I get my exercise weekend. But if I don't keep that chain going of doing it every day, then it falls by the wayside. And I think that is the secret. You've got to do it every day,
And
or specific days a week.
Right. And make it a routine, right? So just as you've done. And I have my routine of getting up in the morning and I have my breakfast and then I go down and have my workout, and it just sets you off for the day on a good footing. I think you're more invigorated, your mind is clearer. It just has so many benefits. But and it's funny that if I do miss a workout, I don't feel right. It just feels like I've missed out. So very important. Yeah, agree.
Very good. Good advice, Kathleen. Good. Well, that's our wrap up for the week on the Yakking Show. And we'll be back next week with more news of guests.
And Peter, we do have amazing guests on this show. We're so grateful for the amount of wonderful, wonderful, interesting people that we get on this show. And if you're one of them, we want to hear from you. And all you have to do is go to theyakkingshow.com, click on the contacts tab, where you will find a short application form, and we'd love to hear from you. So until next time, take care, everyone. We'll see you again next week. Bye-bye.